Have you ever wondered why some people work hard their entire lives and still feel financially stuck, while others seem to gain momentum, build wealth, and create freedom no matter where they start? Most people spend decades chasing income, but the rich, they chase assets. Most people trade their time for money, a few dollars today, a little comfort tomorrow. But the rich teach money to work for them day and night, even while they sleep. And that single difference creates two very different destinies. You can work 40 years and still feel trapped if all you earn disappears into bills, expenses, and short-term pleasures. Because income keeps you alive, but assets set you free. Freedom is not something you buy, it's something you build. Today, you're going to discover the 10 money rules the rich live by. These rules are not built on luck, privilege, or timing. They are built on mindset, discipline, and timeless financial truth. If you stay to the end, you'll understand the shift that turns an income earner into a true wealth builder. Rule 1, don't just make money, invest it. Most people believe the purpose of work is to make as much money as possible. They wake up early, stay up late, push harder, hustle longer. And yet, year after year, nothing truly changes. Because earning more money doesn't guarantee freedom. In fact, for many people, the more they earn, the more they spend. The hamster wheel simply spins faster. I used to think the same way. I thought the goal was income, a bigger paycheck, a bigger number, a bigger sense of progress. But a mentor once told me something that stopped me in my tracks. Income will feed you, but assets will free you. That single sentence rewired my entire philosophy. Imagine this. Every paycheck you receive is like a bag of seeds. Most people eat their seeds, all of them. They use every dollar to survive today, and tomorrow they start again from zero. But the rich think like farmers. They eat what they must, and they plant the rest. Because the goal is not to feel richer today. The goal is to be freer tomorrow. One man may earn $3,000 a month and invest $300. Another may earn $10,000 and invest nothing. 10 years later, who is truly wealthy? Not the one who earned more, the one who built more. Ask yourself, am I working for money, or am I teaching money to work for me? Because here is the truth the world never taught you. Income keeps you alive. Assets set you free. Rule 2, plant seeds. Daily. Wealth is a habit, not an event. Wealth is not something you stumble into. It is something you grow, slowly, quietly, consistently. Most people believe wealth arrives in one big moment. A big raise, a lucky break, a sudden opportunity. But the rich understand something very different. Wealth is the result of small daily habits repeated long enough to become destiny. I've met so many people who say, I'll start saving when I earn more. But here's the irony. When they finally earn more, they still don't save. Because the problem was never the amount. The problem was the habit. You don't become disciplined after you have money. You become wealthy because you practiced discipline before the money came. Imagine a farmer who says, I'll start planting seeds when the perfect season arrives. He will starve. Not because the soil was bad, but because he waited for the perfect moment and never began. The rich don't wait. They plant something today, even if it's small. $5, $10, 1% of their income. The amount does not matter. The repetition does. Every seed planted is a vote for your future. Every day you invest, even a tiny amount, you are telling yourself, I deserve freedom. I am building something that lasts. Ask yourself, what seeds did I plant today for the life I want tomorrow? Because here is the unbreakable truth. You don't get wealthy by intensity. You get wealthy by consistency. Rule 3, control your cash flow. What you don't track, you lose. Most people don't go broke because of one big mistake. They go broke because of 1,000 small ones, unnoticed, untracked, and repeated every single day. A morning coffee here, a delivery meal there, a subscription you forgot, a small treat to feel better after a long day. Individually, they seem harmless. Together, they quietly drain your future. I once sat with a young man who said, I make decent money, but it disappears. I don't even know where it goes. So we opened his expense sheet, line by line, dollar by dollar. He fell silent, not because he didn't understand, but because for the first time, he saw the truth. It wasn't that he wasn't earning enough. It was that he wasn't aware enough. Here's the principle the rich never ignore. You cannot control what you do not measure. If your money feels out of control, it's not because the world is unfair. It's because your spending is invisible, even to you. Imagine trying to fill a bucket full of holes. You can pour more water, or you can fix the leaks. Most people choose to pour. The rich choose to repair. So here is your turning point. For the next 30 days, track every expense, every coffee, every bill, every impulse decision. Not to punish yourself, but to reveal the map of where your money is actually going. Ask yourself, am I controlling my money, or is my money controlling me? Because here's the truth. Wealth begins the moment awareness begins. And what you don't track, you lose. Rule 4. Diversify with discipline. Wide enough to be safe, deep enough to grow. Most people misunderstand diversification. They hear, don't put all your eggs in one basket, and assume it means put your money everywhere. So they scatter their savings into anything that sounds exciting. A little crypto here, a friend's business there, a random stock tip they barely understand. But scattering is not diversifying. It is confusion disguised as strategy. The rich think differently. They choose their baskets with intention, patience, and clarity. They diversify, yes, but they do it with discipline. Their money is divided into 3 purposeful zones: foundation, stable, long-term assets like index funds or real estate. The financial roots that keep everything steady. Growth, higher risk, higher reward opportunities. New markets, startups, innovation. Not everything will win, but the winners pay for the rest. Self-investment, skills, mindset, relationships, the only asset that compounds in every market. I once followed the advice, invest in as many things as you can. The result? I didn't just lose money. I lost focus. I was monitoring 10 things and mastering none. My money wasn't growing. It was scattered and confused, just like I was. Here's the truth the rich understand. Diversification isn't about spreading thin. It's about balancing strong. A forest survives storms because it has many kinds of trees, some deep-rooted, some fast-growing, some flexible. Not every tree thrives, but the forest endures. Ask yourself, if one income source vanished tomorrow, would I still stand? Because real diversification isn't chaos, it's structure, and structure is what builds freedom. Rule 5, make money work for you. Build systems, not stress. Most people believe the only way to get ahead is to work harder, more hours, more effort, more sacrifice. But no matter how hard you work, you still only have 24 hours in a day. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Your body is limited. But money is not. Money doesn't need sleep. Money doesn't get tired. Money doesn't take weekends off. I once met a man who proudly said, I work 16 hours a day. I'll be rich soon. But I told him the truth. No, you're just getting better at being exhausted. Because without leverage, more work only creates more stress, not more freedom. The rich don't chase more hours. They build systems. Dividend-paying stocks, rental properties, online assets, businesses that operate without them, automated investment accounts. Each dollar they invest becomes an invisible employee, working nonstop, bringing in cash flow, multiplying quietly in the background. Imagine having 10 employees working for you. Now imagine 100. Now imagine thousands, each one $1 you invested wisely. That is how the rich expand their time. They hire money to do the work. Ask yourself, if I stopped working tomorrow, would money still be flowing in? If the answer is no, then you don't have a wealth strategy. You have a job. Here's the truth. Financial freedom begins the moment your money works harder than you do. Rule 6. Serve value, not hours. Most people spend their lives trading hours for money. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, year after year. But here is the reality most never question. If your income is tied to your hours, your earning potential is permanently capped. Your life becomes a math equation, and the limit is your time. I once believed that working more would automatically mean earning more. Over time, extra tasks, late nights, I tried everything. But I hit the same ceiling every single year. Until a mentor told me something I'll never forget. Money doesn't follow effort. Money follows value. That sentence changed everything. Think about it. Two people can work the same number of hours, but one earns 10 times more. Why? Not because of time, but because of value. You aren't paid for the hour itself. You're paid for what you bring to that hour. Your skill, your insight, your ability to solve a problem, your ability to help someone get what they need. I once met a salesperson who struggled for years until he shifted his mindset. He stopped trying to sell and started trying to serve. He focused on listening, understanding, guiding, creating value instead of pressure. Within months, his income doubled, not because he worked more, but because he became more useful. Ask yourself, am I trying to work more, or am I trying to become more valuable? Because here's the truth the rich live by. Hours create survival. Value creates wealth. Rule 7, build cash-flowing assets. Freedom comes from flow. Some people look rich, but they don't live rich. They drive luxury cars, they wear designer clothes, they live in expensive apartments. But behind the scenes, they're drowning in payments, bills, and silent financial pressure. Why? Because they bought appearance, not freedom. Here's the principle the rich never forget. Assets that don't pay you, own you. I once met a man who had millions in assets on paper, houses, cars, company shares. But every month he struggled just to cover his expenses. He looked wealthy, but his life had no flow. And without flow, there is no freedom. Then I met another man with far less. No fancy lifestyle, no flashy purchases. But he owned 3 rental units that paid him every month, a dividend portfolio, and a small online business. His income didn't depend on him showing up. He told me, I'm not a millionaire, but I'm free. That's when I understood. Freedom is not built by what you own, but by what pays you. Think of cash flow like a river. As long as the river flows, life moves effortlessly. But when it dries up, you must return to carrying buckets again, trading time for survival. Ask yourself, how many things I own are paying me every month? If the answer is 0, you haven't begun building freedom, only collecting liabilities. Here's the truth. Assets create comfort. Cash flow creates freedom. Rule 8. Keep what you earn. The art of tax and financial structure. 2 people can earn the exact same income, yet one builds wealth while the other stays stuck. The difference isn't how much they make. The difference is how much they keep. Most people work hard, pay their bills, pay their taxes, and hope something is left over at the end of the month. The rich do the exact opposite. They structure their finances so they keep more of what they earn, legally, wisely, strategically. I once met 2 entrepreneurs with identical businesses, same revenue, same market, same pricing, but one of them grew rapidly while the other struggled just to stay afloat. Why? Because the first one understood the rules of the financial game. He mastered deductions, tax shelters, business structures, depreciation, retirement accounts, every tool designed to protect his wealth. The second, he simply paid whatever the system demanded, without question. Here's what most people never realize. Tax law isn't written to punish you. It's written to reward behaviors that build the economy. Investing, hiring, creating value, building assets. These are activities the law encourages. And the rich understand something even deeper. Every dollar saved is not just a dollar earned. It is a dollar that can be reinvested, multiplied, and turned into future freedom. Ask yourself, am I playing the money game blindfolded while others play with a rule book? Because here's the truth. Ignorance is the most expensive tax you will ever pay. The more you keep, the faster you grow. Rule 9. Choose ownership over debt. Buy freedom, not chains. Debt is one of the sweetest traps in the modern world. It feels good in the beginning, like you're moving forward, upgrading your life, achieving something meaningful. A new car, a nicer apartment, a phone you don't need but really want. Debt whispers, enjoy it now, pay later. And most people believe that whisper until the bill arrives. Suddenly, the thing that felt empowering becomes the very thing that tightens around their freedom. I once met a man who proudly told me he had perfect credit and could buy almost anything he wanted on loan. But I asked him a simple question. Are you using that credit to buy assets or chains? He went silent, because deep down, he knew the answer. The rich think about debt differently. They're not afraid of borrowing, but they only borrow for one reason: to acquire something that pays them back. That is the difference between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket every month. Good debt puts money into your pocket every month. Most people use debt to look richer today, while the rich use debt to be freer tomorrow. Here's the truth. You cannot build wealth when your future income is already spent. You cannot reach freedom while dragging the weight of yesterday's decisions. Ask yourself, am I owning my life, or am I financing my captivity? Because in the end, debt buys comfort for a moment. Ownership buys freedom for a lifetime. Rule 10. Let time multiply your wealth. The power of compound interest. If there is one principle the rich respect more than hard work, talent, or even strategy, it is time. Because time is the quiet multiplier that turns small actions into massive results. Most people underestimate compound interest because it feels slow at first, too slow to matter. They want big returns, fast results, instant progress. But the rich understand the deeper rule. Wealth is not built by speed. Wealth is built by endurance. Think of compound interest like planting a tree. In the first year, it's barely visible. In the second year, still unimpressive. Most people give up here, too impatient to continue watering something that hasn't grown yet. But the rich, they keep watering. They keep planting. They let time do what time does best, multiply quietly. Then one day, year 5, year 10, year 20, that tiny seed becomes a tree that produces fruit every single season. And those fruits contain more seeds. And those seeds grow even more trees. That's how ordinary people become wealthy. Not through one giant decision, but through thousands of small deposits sustained long enough to compound. I once watched a young woman invest $200 a month starting at age 25. By 55, without any big wins or special luck, she crossed over $400,000. Not because she earned a lot, but because she started early and stayed consistent. Ask yourself, what small investment am I making today that my future self will thank me for? Because the truth is simple. Money grows slowly at first. Then suddenly, it grows all at once. Time is the greatest wealth builder, if you let it work for you. Rule 11. Invest in relationships. Net worth equals network. You can have the greatest idea in the world, but if no one trusts you, believes in you, or is willing to stand with you, that idea will die in silence. Meanwhile, a mediocre idea in the hands of the right team can turn into a massive success. That's why the rich don't just invest in money, they invest in people. Because money can open a door, but people can open a path. I once met a young entrepreneur who was smart, driven, and unbelievably hardworking, yet stuck for years. He kept learning skills, reading books, mastering strategies, but his breakthroughs never came. Until one mentor asked him a question that changed everything. Who is willing to speak your name in rooms you're not in? He realized he had focused only on growing his talent, but never on growing his relationships. No allies, no mentors, no partners, no advocates. He was climbing alone, and alone is the slowest way up. The rich understand a simple truth. Every relationship is a bridge. Every person is a door to another level of opportunity. They give before they receive. They contribute before they ask. They help others win, knowing that value always returns in unexpected ways. Ask yourself, who are the 5 people shaping my future? Are they lifting me higher or holding me in place? Because in the real world, skills make you capable. Relationships make you unstoppable. Your network is your net worth. You've just walked through the most powerful money rules of the rich. Principles built not on luck or privilege, but on discipline, awareness, and a different way of seeing the world. And if you look closely, you'll notice something. Not one rule is about getting rich quick. Every rule is about becoming a person who builds wealth for life. Because wealth is not a number. Wealth is a mindset, a philosophy, a set of daily habits that quietly compound into freedom. You don't need to be born into the right family. You don't need perfect timing, perfect talent, or perfect opportunities. You need one decision. The decision to stop chasing income and start building assets. Start today with one seed, one habit, one shift in how you think about money. Plant it, protect it, let time multiply it. Because at the end of your life, you won't ask, how much did I earn? You'll ask, how much freedom did I build? Here's the truth the rich already know. You don't become wealthy by chance. You become wealthy by choice. And that choice begins right now. If today's message opened your eyes or woke something up inside you, then don't let it end here. Growth only happens when inspiration turns into action. Comment below. Type, I choose freedom. If you're ready to stop chasing income and start building assets. Your declaration is the first seed you plant today. Like this video if you found value. It tells YouTube this message matters. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another breakthrough lesson. Every week, we build your mindset, discipline, and financial freedom, brick by brick. And before you go, answer this in the comments. Which money rule hit you the hardest today? Your insight might inspire someone else on their journey. Remember, success is not an accident. It's a daily decision. Let today be the day you choose the path of discipline, value, and wealth. Welcome to Motivation, where you don't just learn, you transform.